sucking on a cough drop. So if I look a little weird, that's why. So I just sat here for like a good few minutes, like, oh, I feel so excited about these videos and I really want to write. I really want to like express. And then I was like, but I don't really know what to talk about. And so when I tuned in and asked myself why not, I was like, well, I'm kind of tired. Don't feel like something at the top of my mind right now. I've gotten pretty good at tuning into how I feel. Abraham says, don't take any action until wild horses couldn't keep you from doing it. And I was like, bam, that's what I'm going to talk about. Isn't that cool how that works? And I think there was a lesson just in that process of a couple minutes of like tuning in and of itself, which is that a lot of times I think we're scared of the unknown and we're scared of not having control over everything. And creation is a dance, and creation is a dance of active, creative action, and then also kind of like a more passive, receptive spaciousness. And historically, that's been really hard for me, like the receptive spaciousness. I've always been much more of like actually very masculine in the way that I'm very active and I want to take control and I want to take action. I want to create and I want to go. In the past, you know, like I would take stimulants, like do whatever I could to be in that like constant state of action. Like in college, I was like, I think my senior year in college, my like last semester, which I got like a 3.9 GPA, and that's how much I thrive in that constant state of action. I was like taking 6 classes. I had like 4 part-time jobs. I was like basically on Adderall the whole time, not sleeping at all. Like I was up all night every night, and I don't know, like my adrenaline was like so pumped. And obviously that's not sustainable long term. Oh, I'm getting so much like downloads right now about this exact subject. I'm so excited. It's not a sustainable long term. And actually I've noticed that about myself in general. Historically, I've been very prone to extremism. Very, very black and white. And I think that's just because like I'm a all or nothing kind of gal. So like when something resonates with me, I go for it and I don't really hold anything back. And that's in relationships, that's in career. I'm just like all or the freaking nothing. And so like you could frame that nicely and say, oh, well, like you really stand by what you believe in. And I know astrologically that has something to do with Jupiter in my chart. And sometimes that can be perceived as self-righteousness. And that's a whole other subject. But I've noticed I'm very prone to extremes. And in the last few years, I've noticed like my physical body, like fight that. Like my physical body is no longer cooperating with that adrenaline pumping lifestyle. And I've really, really done that in so many different ways, even just like with my physical health, like lots of weight loss and gain. I've talked about that in my video yesterday, where I'll just like go on a kick. I'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna like eat like air and water for the next like blah blah period of time and run like 1,000,000 miles a day and do like intensive bodybuilding and I'll just drop a lot of weight and going without sleep. I've just like always been prone to extremism because really at its like core, now that I'm thinking about it, it's rooted in a lack of trust. It's rooted in a lack of faith. It's rooted in ego. It's rooted in the feeling that if I don't take control 100% of the time, like the universe is gonna fall apart. And any of you guys who are into Osho has a tarot deck. I forget which card it is. I see the picture of the card in my mind, but there's a card in the Osho tarot deck of like a guy basically like trying to juggle like a million things, and he's got like a monkey and the basically like the message of the card is like, who do you think you are? Like you're so self-important that you think that if like you stop juggling and trying to control everything, the world would fall apart. And it's really like an absurd concept because like the world's continued just fine without all of us. In fact, we usually mess it up. So I just like found that very interesting that I've always done that because it's just need to control. And recently, as my body's no longer cooperated, like I can't lose weight as easily as I used to. I'm kind of more tired. Probably my adrenals are like, fuck you, bitch, because of all that I've done. I'm more sensitive to caffeine, like things like that. I'm like, okay, my body's saying no, so I gotta listen. And over the years, throughout my study of spirituality, I've realized like there's a lot of power in the receptive space, in the spaciousness, in the space of allowing, in just surrender, in like, but not surrender in like, oh, well, things don't go to my way, so I'm just gonna give up on them. That's victim. You surrender in an empowered way of like, I don't know exactly like what to do right now, and I'm gonna be okay with the lack of clarity in this very moment. So like, I don't need to control everything. And that takes a deep, deep trust in the universe and the underlying belief that the universe is actually a friendly place and wants your highest and best good. In fact, Albert Einstein said that one of the most, or I don't remember the exact quote, one of the most or the most important decision somebody can make is the decision of whether the universe is friendly or unfriendly. And so it's so cool because even just in the few minutes trying to figure out what to put in this video, I was like, I felt that spaciousness, and I felt that lack of clarity, and I felt that kind of like question mark. And in the past, being a self-student, being the observer, disidentifying from it, I could look down and say, oh, okay, I feel out of control right now, so let me take some immediate action to try to fill the void. And that's like ineffective action. That is action that's just like literally wasted energy. It's like you're running on your fumes and thinking it's going to be productive or constructive, but you don't receive those kinds of downloads. And at the end of the day, this is a spiritual dance between us and the universe. We're not the only, it's not all up to us. And the more we can relax into that and have faith and trust that all is well, we don't need to figure it all out right now. In fact, there's nothing to figure out. Like, you can't get to the bottom of it. There's no bottom. It's just now. And we can just be okay with not knowing. That's when those pure positive energy inspirations will literally just come through you, and you'll just get like this inspired thought. You'll just, like, it just happened in the video right now. Like, I didn't know what to talk about, and then I was like, oh. And so I would like to make a call to action, or a call to inaction. How about that? To really like get okay with not knowing, and also to get good at feeling, at tuning in and identifying, am I in a place of inspired action right now? Or am I in a fear-based needing to control a space? So let me just like spin my wheels. Getting good at identifying that and being honest with it. And then once you've identified if you're not in inspired action, be like, cool, I'm gonna chill. Maybe I need to meditate, close my eyes, take a nap, listen to music, do something lighthearted, do something that's relaxing, relief. Maybe my body is telling me something right now that I need to slow down. And in that process of allowing, it's like literally you're allowing the good stuff to flow in. And that's what channeling is. And I'm not speaking from like great expertise or anything, because I still haven't come even close to tapping into all the power that I know that I hold. And I'm really excited about delving really deep down that and that path and mediumship and channeling, and really tuning into my inner being and being able to do that consistently, because I mean, how magical, like how divine, like that's what we're here to do, I think, is align with that higher self perspective. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable, or with the unknown, shall I say, and then just listen and be open to receive. And then when you get that positive, pure, inspired thought, like wild horses couldn't keep you from doing it, you'll know it. You won't be able to stop. Like, you'll have to take action, and that's when magic happens. So that's all I have for now. And yeah, thank you for holding the space.